quick run through of obviously the Clear Accept and how do I pay. A bit of background for, well, maybe got some of you who have used Clear Accept, on Clear Accept, some are not. Some of you have used How Do I Pay, maybe not. So because we've got a combination of both probably on today, just give a little update. Basically, How Do I Pay we have had for a long time, available for clubs to use for a number of years now. Clubs have used it to basically take subscription payments online, and probably more recently used it to take top-ups onto cars, etc. through the app. In the past, How Do I Pay used to use 4 providers, external providers, SagePay, WorldPay, First Data and OB Payments to process the card payments. When we got purchased by Clear Course, being part of that group, one of the companies in that group is Clear Accept, and what made it a lot easier for us was to use our own internal company to process all the payments. Which means a lot more interface, a lot more secure interface, and to be honest, a lot less hassles, where in the past, if there was any payments, it then got a bit of a dispute of them and us, that, for example, First Date would say it was them, we would say it was us, whatever. So it's just a better way to do it. So, but just give a quick run through of where Clear Accept works in Club V1, and that's the main part of this, rather than just how it works. So it's just making sure the settings of it. So those of you that have Club V1, or everyone has Club V1, in your Club V1 system, yeah, and it's just to show you where the Clear Accept stuff is in there, so you know it is all in there. Those of you that have Clear Accept already, this has probably all been set up for you in the past, and you maybe not know it's in the system, but just to show you where it is. So basically, when you've got Clear Accept set up, what happens is behind the scenes, our guys, when they get the credentials and you get approved from Clear Accept, they go into your Club V1, and in your settings in Club V1, you've got a setting called Online Payments, and this is where all your online payments system is set up. And what we will do for, what our support guys do behind the scenes for you, is when they get the stuff from Clear Accept, they will add in these, what they call credentials. And basically what these are the setup from that Clear Accept give us with secure passwords, etc., settings that we can add in to allow you to do different things. Now, just to explain on this, that you'll see each service, Epos top up, pay bill, booking, virtual terminal moto and function, are all set up as their own individual accounts. This is because you can then customize what you wish to use or what you wish to be set up for. And also a little thing to know is, for example, some clubs may have, they may have, for example, they're paying their bill, they may pay to a different bank account from their Epos top-ups. We can do that. And that is why each of these things, when I edit this, you'll see has its own set of credentials. So you might have different merchant ID and different passwords for different aspects of the system. Okay, and it's just to say that's where that through. And as I said, I'll get a little bit about auto top up as well, slightly, and card details. But while I'm in this section, just to show you, you as a club can allow that members can save their card details, can be saved, even though you select this to be enabled. Just to let you know, that's not compulsory if the members' card details was saved. The members still have a choice that they wish their card details be saved. And same way as well, when you allow auto top-ups, again, same as that, you can put yes or no. Even though you've set that, it's not compulsory for auto top-ups. It's just you're giving that option for your members to use it. So the first part, we set up all these parts in the accounts, and then we'll also add in these parts of services here. And again, it's to give you control of these services. So you see here, I get everything set up, card top up, pay subscription, booking fee, debit card, everything there. I might want to, though, when I first go live with this, I only want to have one part. I don't want to do Epos top up. You as a club, you have total control over that. You can control what you can do as top up, whether you want to enable it or disable it. So if I don't want to do top ups anymore, I just disable it. Still keeps my Clear Accept settings that you used in the past, it's there. And also, you have the option as well, those of you that have the Epos till system, you may use multi-purses. Some clubs will not allow top-ups to certain purses. They have to do only the one purse, your main purse, your bar purse or whatever. And hopefully you know what purses are, but just so I can go over that in more detail if folk require that. But again, it's giving you as a club completely thing. One thing I would say, when you've got these in your system, if they are in your system, and they've been put in your system and they've not actually edited, what I would say is make sure this description here is try and put in a description that's nice and clear for you. Makes reporting nice and easy. So it's worth typing in your own thing, which is easy for you to put in, and it makes it nice and simple. You'll tend to find, to be honest, when our support people put it in and set these in for you, even though they've not enabled it, they probably won't put a description in there. They'll leave it quite blank because the service is here to allow the club to put in what they wish to do on that. Okay, so just to say all that controlled over yourself. One other thing to in settings when you've got Clear Accept as well in here. Obviously, the very first thing, if you wish to use How Do I Pay, yes or not. Okay. So point of this conversation is probably use How Do I Pay, but some clubs might want not to have enabled. You can just switch it off. We've got Deco here. Now Deco is How Do I Pay later, and I'll show you a little bit on that, how that operates in a little bit later, but that's a system that's been added in. And also those maybe you didn't know is there's not so much for the Clear Accept, maybe you didn't know, but we do have a Fairway credit link enabled. This basically means if someone wants to pay by Fairway credit, we can link to Fairway credit. Obviously, we get less of that now that we're replacing that with our own Deco system, which works a lot better. Okay. So basically, going over the Clear Accept, why would you use it? Why would you How Do I Pay? And just to go over some of the things that, not why, but to explain what you can use this for. So basically, first thing, main thing people use it for is taking subscriptions online. Okay. So basically, if I go to my directory, I go to my record, okay, you normally finance, you'll raise my bill, okay. When you raise a bill for somebody, your annual bill, whatever bill, okay, that will then be available in their app, or you can send it out for the pay. Now, what you have the option to do is you can allow them to basically pay that online, okay, using through. So basically, what they have then is when you've created the app, in the dashboard in my app, and this is just the web version of my app, if I go to finance, there's my subscription, there's my bill. If I click on my bill, basically, there's what I'm due to pay, okay? And if I click on pay that, it will then come up with a bill, basically, and then say pay by card, okay? Now, just to let you know, you can also add in here at this point, even though they're paying online, the option of a voluntary levy, a voluntary payment. So if you did wish to, someone does want to give money to staff Christmas fund, you can add it here and pay on front, okay? And this little other addition as well, part payment, it's up to you whether you wish to allow the people to pay a deposit towards it or not. Obviously, I would say, I advise most of my clubs to basically just make it full payment. If a member wants to pay in part, ideally as a club operation, they'll put it on a credit card or whatever. It gets a little bit messy if you've got part payments, they're paid half of it, but I'll put through whatever. Okay. All it's simply do though is when I click on pay by card, picks up my details from the Club V1 system, confirm, and just ask me for the card number, expiry date, CV. When I click pay, what it does basically is it goes to the Clear Accept system, just so you know it's set up, checks basically I can afford to pay it, process the payment, and then updates Club V1. Now, updates Club V1 back on my Club V1 system, it would update back here, record my payment, record it's been paid online, it's through. Now, because we're talking about how Clear Accept and how Clear Accept works here and how the system works and how How Do I Pay works, obviously, the cheapest way for someone to pay you is by backs, it's the cheapest transaction. Clear Accept will, if you pay this way, just to let you know, there is a deduction charged. How Do I Pay don't take any deduction, it's just the credit card processing fees. Now, as an example, probably standard fees from Clear Accept, I think it's like 1%. So for every 1,000 you get, you will lose £10 and charge. So it's just worth taking that into consideration with it. But what I would say is it does, you know, it does upgrade this completely. You don't have to do any bank reconciliation. You don't have to. I'm assuming what most clubs do is they will take your payment over the phone. Most people pay by, if they're not paying by backs, they take payment over the phone, take the card payment through a PDQ machine, and then update Club V1. If you allow the members to pay online, it does take that part out of it and does update directly. So it does actually allow you to process that directly through without you having to do that step. Yep. One other wee thing in here, just to let you know on that as well, those of you that have Clear Accept that have not, what you also find is if someone does phone you and wish to pay their bill, clubs tend to miss that when you add the payment here, and you pay the payment, say whatever they're going to pay, £1,100, whatever. This Moto payment part, which is an integration of Clear Accept and How Do I Pay, just if you want to know what that is, if I click Moto, it comes up with normal stuff, your normal allocation that you're maybe used to. I know it's your Club V1, the details. But what I do have this additional, where I can actually take the card number, expiry date, and CVE within Club V1. I don't have to use a separate card machine. I can do this in any machine that I can access in Club V1. So just to let you know that's there. A lot of clubs tended to miss out that Moto part there. But it's just to let you show you that's there. Okay. Okay. Other big thing I've got as well is obviously when you do any functions or any ad hoc bills to people, they will see them on the app. But also you do have a facility where, so if I go to my club and look at my functions, okay, and I put a function in here that I put into the diary. And again, probably I'm not going to cover all of this just now, but I can go over it later if somebody wants. I've added into the diary John's birthday party. Okay, and if I edit the charges, okay, I've got his birthday party, I've got his charges, what I'm going to charge him for. And when I took his payment, I took his £100 deposit off him, but he did say to me, basically, I want some welcome drinks. And what we have done as a club is basically put that on a tab, and then we got the total at the end, and we then added it onto his bill. We just clicked on add item and added it on. But just to show you what that does mean then, if I wish, I then have an invoice that I can actually send, okay, to John. Now if I print it, okay, you'll see he'll get a bill, basically say if his room hire and his welcome drinks, you get a bill. That's fine, that's basic operation system. But now where it links to using your Clear Accept system for it is, you do have a lot of additional thing on there where, if I close that down, if I go view invoice, continue and print, and I go to email, yes, it'll send email, but you'll see I can add this How Do I Pay layment link onto it. What that does, if I send that bill, what that does then is when John gets his bill, basically, he will receive an email, and mine is quite basic here for what I've got here, but he can download the bill. But what it will include in the email that goes out to John or your person booking is this Pay Now link. And this can be used, doesn't have to be just for members, this can be for anybody you've got with an email link. If I click Pay Now, basically what it does simply is loads up the bill for John to pay, but for his birthday party, and he pays the 539. And again, automatically backs to Club V1. So it's just a handy little feature there of adding payment links to invoices if you want to send stuff out. Okay. So as I said, I know I'm just skimming over some stuff here, but as I said, then we're info go through it. Okay. Obviously, the other part of the Clear Accept and using How Do I Pay facility, and again, it's probably more using How Do I Pay, just using Clear Accept as a backbone to process payments, is allowing members to top up their cards. So basically, back to again, go to my my lap, just close that down, go to finance, my card. Basically, if your member wants to top up his card, now this is just the web version of the app I have here. They click on set top up, basically. But then just load it through once it gets my card. Always go slow when it comes through. What they do have the option as well is that they have the option of selecting which purse they wish to. So you see I'm going to come to top up purse. And this wears when I roll back slightly where you can have multiple purses, but you might not want to allow them to top up them all. Okay, so you can control it. So I had a flexi purse there. You might want to listen to top up flexi purse for home. They click them out and they just simply click on pay by card, put in their card details, and that top up goes through. What they will get when they confirm is they will, as I mentioned, rolling back earlier, I will have the option to click on to save my card details if I wish. So again, that's up to do through. Okay. But one other thing though they can do is this auto top ups. Because we use again Clear Accept and How Do I Pay, we have the complete integration between the two of them. What the members can do is they can say auto top ups. What they can simply say is, I wish to top up £20 if my balance goes below £5. What that will simply do is, as long as they've got a saved payment card, as soon as their balance drops below £5, it will stick £20 onto their card. Very This is actually liked a lot by those clubs that use competition charging system through, where it puts money onto your competition purse all the time. But also the big spenders like it, where it just sticks money on the card. I think it's similar to the way the schools run with school dinners things, so it's through. I mean, so it's a handy thing to do. Now, one wee thing on this as well, just to explain, if you don't have an Epos system, the till system, you can still use this system. What you'll have, instead of these purses, you'll have what you call a competition balance. And you can have a competition balance that can be topped up and used similar to where these Epos purses are. Obviously, a slight restrictions on what you can multiple purse you can't do with competition balance, but it does allow you, if you don't have the till system, but would like to have a facility where members can put money into competition to pay for their competition entries, twos, sweeps, etc. This would simply be replaced by, instead of me having an option of all these three purses, I would just have a competition balance. So it's just to let club know that with the how do you base stuff, you can use it with that system as well. Yeah. So that's part through it. Okay. Obviously, now the other part, obviously, that you want to look at using your Clear Accept, if you've got it set up and you wish to use it, what you should be really using it for, could use it for, as big clubs, is for your competitions, and mainly we're talking competitions. Let's talk about entry fees. So basically, more and more clubs come on to do your opens through Club V1, and the big thing with Club V1 is basically what you want to do is when you set up your fixtures, basically in Club V1, and you set up your open, you can set up your charges. So I'm going to edit my competition charges. Okay, that's it, basic charges. And where you can set up your entry fee and your visitor fee at booking. Okay. And basically you set, these are normally taken at booking fees, so book. And as I said, if you have a different member fee to a visitor fee, your members will be prompted if they go to pay for a visitor open, are you a member, book through the app instead. What that then means is in the system, booking, competition, you'll get the option of basically booking into the open. And if I open the start sheet, I think I'm already in this one. You'll see I'm already in this one. But if I wasn't, I could remove myself through, but you basically charge to pay through. Or as I said, if you don't have, it's not a member side you want to do. Okay. Basically what you want to do basically for your opens now, visitors, open competitions. Okay. Just book into your open competitions. Click on booking. Now this is our website. We have a page on here, but you can just have a link that takes you straight to your open competitions. You'll see there's my open, book my open competition, basically, and book. Now I'm obviously logged out, so I'll log out the system. It's because I'm logged in the system. So basically all will happen is your members will present it with open. So let's see if I go and see who's got an open. So a little thing while we're in this point, just a little top up point that some people don't realize, you can actually now search for opens within a certain area and club and how they do now. So encourage your open to just say so. Okay, so let's look at Strathclyde and let's look at Kinross. Okay, there's their competition, and this is where I was saying that basically regarding the payment side, and this is just so you know with your members with payment side, it's saying there if you're a member of Kinross, click to log in. Basically, you think it's common sense, but basically we're saying to them if they're a member, book as a member of Kinross Golf Club because you might get a cheaper rate. But if I'm not a member, I just click on there, basically fills in my details and book, and it just asks me to pay for it up front. Not science. That's all normal system through, but where it works back onto Club V1 system, just so you know, when you go back to your Club V1 system, you will see in your competition basically a charges report, and this will show you all the what's been paid online, everything online. Now there's a little setting, and probably not in this system, about open competitions, how to set to remove people if they don't pay, how to ensure you're paid. Anyone want information on that setup, just drop me a little email and I'll go over that with you. But just to basically say, what you normally have is you want everybody paid in online on here. You shouldn't actually have these entry fees not paid. It should all be paid up front. If this person hasn't paid, he should be removed after a certain time of the booking. So it's linked to payment. And we do have two things in here as well, additional things linking to Clear Accept Mass Refund. Now we're doing an update on this that I think it's coming at the end of the year, where you'll be able to do a mass refund and it'll go back to the debit cards that were used to pay, everybody paid to book. Not a big fan of mass refund. I don't encourage clubs to do mass refund. I always advise clubs, best bet is try and reschedule the date first and contact people to see if the new date's suitable first. But if you've done that, you've contacted them, just to let you know, you can click on history. And if John Cardinal is contacted saying he cannot play on that date, that new date, if I click refund here, your interface with Clear Accept will mean that money goes straight back to the debit card they used to pay that. So go back to their card. I think it's the standard 24 hours to 40 hours to go back onto their card, but that refund's back to the card they've paid. So it's just to say that's there as well. Okay. Obviously, the other part you would use it for is what the system as well linked from is if you, those of you that are looking at taking on our booking payments, basically, you would then look at your visitor booking. Get D-side an example. Basically, D-side have got their visitor booking, hot and course. You want to be in a position where you are taking the time you book, and when somebody books here and books to pay, you're taking the booking online. You can add in services. Okay. So again, we have all these facilities added in, they can go through. Okay. So just like I say, that's all there and the payment's all linked through. So that's another part where you take the booking. I just want to show you that visitor booking because I'll show you where this is all reported on in the back. One other wee thing on the, if you're using Clear Accept and you have the facility, and as I said, this is why this main thing is to try and make sure you're using the full utilities you have of using Clear Accept. So if you haven't, make sure you're using all the facilities you have in there. Is some clubs will be using it to make sure to take guest payments and stuff online. So it's a handy thing to go through as well. And as I said, you can do refunds for bookings as well. So if someone books into your system and can't make that booking, you just click refund their booking. It will refund back the debit card they paid for it. So basically, that's all the facilities you want. So basically, you should be using Clear Accept. You can use it for your online bill payments, your Epos, the competitions, and the booking. Now, just one wee thing on the part of that as well is what you really maybe should know as well is if you've got booking, what you want to look at is when you're using your Clear Accept as well, obviously is, as I mentioned earlier on, is getting a report of what you have. And in here, you have basically an overall print where you can get a printout. I don't know if you know you could do this on a monthly, weekly basis, whatever you wish to look at on merchant payments. And basically you can get it as a total. Again, total control, you can look at it as you like. Look at, I mentioned purses. I might want to just look at one purse or all together, separate purses. I might want to just look at top-ups this week and see who topped up the card. What this report gives you basically is what people have done online that week or that month, and therefore that should be what you're expecting to get in from Clear Accept, what you're getting in through your payment portal. Okay, and it's also got handy if you're looking for a specific person's payment and trying to find it. And also some clubs do quite like to actually pull off open competitions. Even some clubs do that just as a report through. So just to let it's all there. There is parts in the system where we can assist you where you can set up notification emails to go. I wouldn't say you need a notification email for Epos top-ups or you'd be inundated with emails, but you might want to set up that you'll get an email if someone pays their subs online, but you can do all that through. But as I said, this does give you the facility. Now you do also have, you will have a Clear Accept access to their portal, which is, I would say, is probably an additional thing if you have to look at anything further. We don't hold, obviously, the card details, processing details, so that's different things through. So just sort of wrap up one of probably further things, just things you might do with Clear Accept you can use it for as well is that I did show you regarding the people directory and paying that person's bill using Moto payment. Okay. You can also use that Moto payment, to do a top up as well. But one thing you also have got, that Moto payment is linked to anything in the system. Okay, so it's linked to a Club E1 bill. Okay, it's linked through. So if I go back to my, let's go back to my bill. So it's linked to my finance, my bills. I have got add payment. You'll see the Moto payment is linked to this bill that's due. But just to let you know, you can also, if you wish, finance, go Epos, you can actually do a top up and you can actually use Moto payment for top ups as well. So if you do wish to allow people to top up manually, phone you or top up their cards, some clubs with little that use competition charging, quite like the facility where members can phone up and they can top up. They'll phone the handicap arena and top up their cards. You can do it through. But the one thing in here as well, just to know, I'm not saying it's not a big thing that clubs use, but it is there if you do wish to use it. You've got a thing called Finance called Virtual Terminal. Basically, what this is an online PDQ machine that allows you to take a card payment for anything. Yeah, I'll put my details in with through, but you can have to be details. Okay, description, wine. Let's see, whatever. Just to say what that does basically, but just to let you know, this is no link to anything in Club V1. Virtual terminal is just a terminal. You will be able to report it in Club V1, but just to say it is just a thing to allow you if you wish to take a card payment for anything. So basically, home or anything you wish to take a card payment. So a couple of clubs have used it. Maybe they've got, I know one of my clubs had like a special Centennial bottle of whiskey that the members just come in and paid for. They just use this to process it through, and then they would send out some just to say it's there to use on that. Okay. Obviously, I did mention there about the Epos system. You don't have the Epos system with ClearAccept, and ClearAccept does link to Epos system as well. Obviously, the additional thing that ClearAccept do is those of you that maybe have the till system. ClearAccept, because we work with ClearAccept now and have the secure sort of list between the two of us, we can provide now PDQ card machines from ClearAccept that link to our till. So those of you that have the till system, just so you know this, if you get a PDQ, you have a PDQ machine from ClearAccept, we can integrate that with the till. Basically, what that simply means is that when your staff hit credit card payment on the till, so basically, I think mine's not linked. So basically, so when they log into the till, yeah, and they ring up the bill and go pay. When they hit credit debit card and hit that amount, submit payment, that £41.50 comes up on the machine. The staff don't have to type it in. The member, the visitor or whoever it is, just touches their debit card and it takes that through. Same thing when you do a top up. If it's a top up and you're doing it by credit card, it just integrates and puts that through. So just to let you know, that's also available facility there as well on the system through. So as I said, main aspect of these things is just a short sort of update on ClearAccept. But one final thing on that is because of ClearAccept is just taking this opportunity just to give you a little update is that you probably heard I spoke a little bit about how do I pay later. Now, it's a new thing. I don't do much to do with this thing, but just so you might have seen it in publicity stuff going through. And just to let you know, this ClearAccept part, which is really nothing to do much with us, it's from Deco. All this simply does is the members, if you wish, those of you that maybe used premium credit in the past would know that members could click to pay by premium credit. They'd fill in an application in premium credit. Basically, they would ask them to fill in details. This is just a simple, but it's their own version. It's a bit integrated a bit more, is that you can give the members the option if they wish. You'll see at the bottom, pay by Deco. Basically, that's paying by later. All it simply does, just to let you know, is it just clicks quickly by these slides, is it takes them to a point where they get the option to pay by direct debit. You don't do the direct debits, it's handled by the finance company. Shows the members what they pay. So I've won it over 10 months or 6 months, what I'll pay for those fees. And if they wish to fill that in, they just fill in all their details online. So the members was asked to fill in all their financial stuff, nothing to do with you. They do it, but it's just so you know it's there. They get to play it. They fill in their details. If it's approved, it will say agreement, yep, completed. They'll get authorised paid, and you will then get an update in Club V1 that their payment has been processed through, and it will update that I have cleared my bill. So basically, you will then get the money from Deco, paid to the club, and you don't have to do anything else. It just tells you it's been paid, but you'll expect that money from ClearAccept going through. Okay. So as I said, I know it's just a quick overview of systems through, and that's why we're trying to do these as little short overviews. But anyone get any specific questions they would maybe like to ask me while we're here? Or, as I said, anyone who's got any specific assistants who'd want me to help look at this or give them through, just let me know. Yep, David. Hi, David. Can't hear you. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Here now, yep, got it now. Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. On the refund side through Clear Accept,
yeah.
Can you refund a less amount than was paid originally?
Not at the moment, but we are looking at that.
Okay.
To be honest, I'll get that check for you because actually I think that might be there. I don't want to say 100% just now, but I know it has. But I'll check and see. Yep, that I know that's been asked for clubs. Let me just actually see back to my system. I don't think it has. No, I wouldn't 100% like say, Dave, but I know it's going to cut as there the option through deposit. So what I'll do is I'll check that out for you and I'll give you an update on that.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, because you don't want to give them all their money back.
No, well, basically, if they pay for a competition and cancel last minute, there's an admin charge to pay.
Yeah, that I was going to say that's the main reason I'm actually getting it for, is clubs doing that, and also because I've got a lot of clubs looking at making members pay for guests and making me think and getting a lot of things tightened up this year. That's a big thing through, I mean, and also some clubs will do regarding the booking, depending how close you cancel, you might get 50% back or whatever. Yeah. So it's sort of, yeah, well, if it's not there, I'll check when it's coming out, but I know it is getting added into the system if it's not there already.
Perfect, thank you.
Right. Anyone else or? No. No. Well, as I said, I'm quite happy, as I said, anybody who has any queries after the system, okay, just get back to me, just drop me an email or something through and I can get back to you. So even David, drop me a little email so I don't forget.
Okay. Will do.
Because I've got quite a few on this and I'll get a lot of emails after these things. I'll check that for you and I'll get back to you on that. As I said, anyone else who's got any queries, just let me know. From what I'm seeing here, I don't know who's on Clear Accept, who's not. So no matter if you need information how to get Clear Accept or how to get make sure Clear Accept is all set up correctly, just let me know. All right.